Well, before we get started here, I'd like to introduce my wife, Kathy. I have several of my children and grandchildren here, and I appreciate everybody coming because being an elected official, I can tell you right now, definitely gets into family time. And I'm very thankful and very blessed that I have this type of family that allows me in this type of situation. And I thank you all for being here, and thank you for supporting me. So now we'll start the normal stuff. And good afternoon, and thank you for joining us at the B&B Theater, Shawnee, the company that brings the magic of the movies to Shawnee. Today we're borrowing B&B Live, the stage for Music Theater Kansas City, Shawnee's hometown musical theater that brings professional performances to life every single year. And soon the largest competition on earth, featuring the world's game, will land here in the greater Kansas City area and bring the international community to our hometown with a heart. So it is in that spirit I welcome you to the 2026 State of the City, while Shawnee prepares to welcome the world. Before we get to the summer, it's important we review what Shawnee has accomplished in the previous year. I'm proud to announce that once again, we have 4 nationally accredited city departments: police, fire, Parks and Recreation, and Public Works. All city departments operate at the highest standards, provide the greatest quality of services, and are dedicated to improve the life of everyone in our hometown. It's also my pleasure to congratulate the team at the Shawnee Chamber of Commerce on their 80th anniversary here, and for receiving the latest 5-star accreditation from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. As mentioned in the last year, Shawnee is in exclusive company. Only 6 cities in the country can boast 4 nationally accredited departments, plus a Chamber of Commerce with national accreditation. It's easy to say these words. In Shawnee, you see the impact of those nationally accredited departments every single day. And even better, we can count the numbers to see the positive effects.
Really, the staff that we have, nobody wants to settle for good enough. If we have a project we're doing, let's settle for the best version of that project.
I tell this to all of our new hires. The mission statement of the Shawnee Police Department is serving our community with purpose and care. Each one of those words is very intentional. We're not serving the community, we're serving our community. We are part of the community.
If you've driven out kind of on the west side of Shawnee Mission Parkway recently, you probably noticed the pavement's not in the best condition. It's been something we've kind of been planning for several years to have a large project out there. Mill and overlay and reconstruct part of Shawnee Mission Parkway from K7 all the way over to the east to Lackman Road. So it's a huge stretch.
These guys are the guys. They take that part of the job really seriously, from the getting the call, to how long it takes us to get on the rig and get the rig out the door and to your house. You know, we want to provide that for our citizens. We want to be in charge of making sure that they're getting the best care they can get.
It's about 50% of the plow drivers are from field operations. We also have drivers from the other divisions of Public Works. The Community Development Department sends us codes enforcement officers, building inspectors. We have several from the Parks and Rec Department. We also, on a fairly regular basis, utilize off-duty police officers and off-duty firefighters as well.
Garrett Park was one of the very first parks that was developed through the Parks and Pipes sales tax. There will be a brand new destination playground added to this location. And then one of the newest things that will be here, that will be the first in our system, is a fitness court. We received a grant from the National Fitness Campaign, and we'll be adding a fitness court with body weight exercises and things that people can do, make it a stop on their walk, their run, their bike, but also make it an opportunity to make a healthier community.
We don't have to settle for good enough. We can settle for excellent in a lot of these areas.
So here's what those numbers mean. National accreditation for the police department means officers build and maintain relationships in our community and continually pursue excellence through training and annual reviews. National accreditation for the Parks and Recreation Department means improving residents' health, well-being, and quality of life. Thanks to our well-managed parks, facilities, and programs. National accreditation for the Public Works Department means reliable, high-quality services and responsible use for funding from our tax dollars. National accreditation for our fire department means reducing community risk across the entire city and improving firefighters' safety and wellness. All this national recognition and award-winning services provided to our community are only possible because of the hard-working individuals who serve Shawnee. Not a day goes by where I'm not reminded of the city employees of our city. Whether when a snowplow drives down our street, when a family enjoys time at one of our many parks, when a police officer hands out a $100 donation from our Secret Santa and makes a positive connection with one of our residents. On the chamber side, the 5-star accreditation brings our community stronger economic development and enhanced support for Shawnee's local businesses, large and small. All of this adds up to a stronger community, a higher quality of life, a great place to start a business, and a fantastic place to visit, just in case that's a topic we're all thinking about. Maintaining these accreditations, training our fantastic city staff, and building the future takes the careful investment of our tax dollars. Once again, I'm proud to announce the people who oversee that process were recognized at a national level for their work. The Government Finance Officers Association awarded the Shawnee Finance Department for both the 2023 financial report and the 2025 financial book report this previous year. And the S&P Global once again awarded a AAA bond rating to Shawnee. These 3 recognitions are signs that our tax dollars are spent wisely, monitored carefully, and ultimately go towards building a better city for all residents, visitors, and businesses. And for our local businesses, I also want to talk about the continuing growth of economic development in Shawnee. The redevelopment of the Westbrook Green Shopping Center is moving in leaps and bounds. While we've seen the cosmetic improvements to the parking lots, the building exteriors, it's the internal renovations that will soon be home to a new grocery store and multiple other businesses for this important Shawnee intersection. The city's investment in purchasing 17 acres of developable land in the Valley of Champions brought in several intriguing options for a new entertainment landmark in our incredibly busy area of Shawnee. And I was pleased to bring the state of the city to B&B Live this year to support the Midland Entertainment District. The local businesses, employees, and owners dealt with the 2-year-long construction at 435 in Midland. While the project did wrap up early, I fear customers may have been slow to return to this area. I encourage all of us to make sure we support the businesses in the Midland Entertainment District. Whether you're enjoying breakfast as a family, a business lunch, a team-building happy hour, or a special dinner out, or even an evening at the movies, the Midland Entertainment District offers options for every occasion. So please keep your dollars here in Shawnee and support these owners, employees, and businesses that make our hometown with heart so special. Plus, just up the road, Theater in the Park will be hosting a soccer celebration party. So what better way to enjoy the world's game than by first supporting our local businesses before catching a major international soccer match? To cap it all off, very soon there will be even more exciting news to come from the crossroads of Midland and I-435. Speaking of crossroads, following the announcement from the state of Kansas at the end of 2025, Shawnee will find itself situated directly between the new Arrowhead Stadium and the Kansas City Chiefs' new practice and team headquarters facility. And despite my request, I was told a scarf would make a better accessory today than a helmet. So we cannot overlook the immense opportunity that will come to Kansas, less than 10 miles from where we stand right now. The Kansas City Chiefs moving to Kansas City, Kansas means the name finally makes sense. And Shawnee will be able to take advantage of the influx of football fans from across the Midwest who journey to the new Chiefs Stadium. We can welcome them to our hotels, to dine at our restaurants, and to shop at our stores. We recognize the opportunity that presents itself on 435, K7, and throughout our community. Of course, many of the development decisions rest in other communities or at the state level and are outside our control. Still, I want to thank City Manager Paul Kramer and the work of the Chamber of Commerce to do everything within their powers to protect our city's ability to use every available economic development tool. This is the exciting future that awaits us here in Shawnee. Part of that future is due in large part to the changes in our city council. Shawnee voters spoke loud and clear at the ballot box, and I intend to listen to them. The vote made it clear that they want more diverse housing options in our city. They want more economic development in our city, and they want local leaders, both public and private, to work together to make sure that growth benefits all of Shawnee. So I say today to our current residents, our future neighbors, our longtime Shawnee-based businesses, and companies looking for a new place to call home, Shawnee is ready to welcome you, whether as a place to start your career, buy your forever home, build on your current success, or start a new chapter. And Shawnee is still a hometown that respects our history. We will always maintain our hometown with heart, the feeling that you see from downtown to Shawnee Mission Parkway, from Clear Creek Parkway to Johnson Drive. No matter what the future holds, Shawnee will always be your hometown that will make you proud. And no matter how long you've called our community home, Shawnee is the place for each and every one of you. In fact, you could say, if you're looking to score a touchdown, look to Shawnee. Of course, we still have a few years before America's brand of professional football arrives in Kansas. Meanwhile, we're only 105 days away from the start of the 2026 World Cup. Estimates put more than 600,000 visitors landing in Kansas City from around the globe. The World Cup is a spectacle built around 5,486 players, 211 countries, and one sport. An event that brings the world together like nothing else on the globe. I'm extremely excited to welcome the world to Shawnee in 2026. However, we've been welcoming the international community to our city for over 40 years, thanks to our Sister City program. Mayor Tony Suitert and the previous generations of Shawnee leaders who wanted to connect our community to our heritage, our history, and our future.
That humans do the world over, to bring it closer into our circle, to show how we do it, and then to sit down between us to say, now how do we improve the lot of both of us? In this way, I believe, is the truest path to peace.
Long before the world arrives in the middle of the country, our hometown already connected itself to the international community.
At that time, a lot of the residents in Shawnee comprised people, whether their parents or grandparents were originally from Ireland, Belgium, and Germany.
Drawn to the area for a specific reason.
They found that in Shawnee and in the Midwest. They came to a place where the growing season is long, the soil is very good quality, and that's wonderful for farmers and the industries that support farmers. So they came to a good place.
And built lives and families in their new hometown. Generations later, Shawnee leaders wanted to reconnect with the history, traditions, and lives of those immigrants and the countries they left behind in their journey halfway around the world. Chief among those city leaders wanting to connect Shawnee to the world was the man who served as mayor longer than any other in the city's history.
The big driver behind it, frankly, was Tony Suitert. He had traveled in Germany, Belgium, and Ireland extensively before those times, so he had some connections, but I think he frankly laid the groundwork for the three sister cities that were selected.
Within a decade, Shawnee formalized partnerships with Pittem, Belgium, Listowel, Ireland, and finally, Erfurt, Germany, officially connecting our hometown with the larger international community, intertwining families, legacies, and traditions that happened here in Shawnee.
Americans in particular are trying to get their roots back. You know, from your own family, you may have an Irish wing, but you may have a German wing or a Belgian wing as well.
People like to know their heritage. They appreciate the effort that people have made to extend these offerings to these various sister cities.
Almost immediately, annual visitors came from all three countries to celebrate the partnerships and start to answer President Eisenhower's question, how do we improve the lot of both of us?
Ist es doch so, dass die Probleme einer Stadt wahrscheinlich relativ gleich sind. Also kann man sich zumindest in der Lösung der Probleme schon miteinander absprechen und vielleicht auch Ideen finden, wie man die eine oder andere Sache hier in Shawnee angehen kann, die wir in Erfurt vielleicht haben und natürlich auch umgekehrt.
I think we have the mutual bonds. The ancestors of Shawnee were also coming from our city. They still have the connection, you feel it, and they want to integrate it. And we are also happy to do so and to help building a relation.
The benefit would be, again, that the people that live around here would get to know us better when we come over, and they'll get to know Ireland better.
Because these connections and the ones to come will last generations, keeping those partnerships and Shawnee's connection to the world going strong.
All those stories have been given to me from the people I've met, and in Chinese culture they believe that old people never die. They live on in the stories told by the next generation and the next generation. And that's why I saw the likes of the people who started the Sister City program back in 1986, John Lynch, Johnny Southert, and all those people, like, they'll never be forgotten, you know, and they shouldn't be either.
Proving the ties that bind us together are stronger than any differences we may have, all to deliver on President Eisenhower's path to peace.
I think if you look at what those bullet points were years ago, back in '56, of what he was trying to do, you know, the exchange, the coming together, the friendship, the opportunities to learn from each other. I think so.
Diese Herzlichkeit, obwohl man sich nicht kennt, gleich miteinander in Kontakt zu treten, das ehrliche Interesse aneinander und auch diesen Austausch so zu leben, wie man ihn lebt, das gibt es in dieser Art nur in Shawnee, und dadurch kann ich Herrn Bausewein sehr gut verstehen, dass ihm das hier so sehr...
Our sister cities in Ireland and Belgium and Germany, they're just like us. They're good people. They have the same hope and aspirations that we have, and really we're not that much different from each other.
During one of my visits to Ireland, I had the privilege of sitting at the top of a hill looking over a field of green, out over the ocean as the sun set before my eyes. And the sun looked larger than the earth. It was just absolutely incredible. And while the beauty of another country, the beauty of Ireland laid out before me. And while the beauty of a foreign land is impossible to miss when you visit, I want all of us to remember the beauty of Shawnee that we see every single day. From our events, to our parks, to our people. There's a beautiful city. I want to make sure that none of us miss it, because we will have visitors who are looking for that same beauty when they arrive here this summer. Part of what they'll find is the influence of our three sister cities, proudly on display, demonstrating those bonds and friendship and learning we built from day one.
Shawnee's international connections express themselves every day in our hometown with heart.
There's not another city around that does everything that we do.
In times that bring the community together.
I've been here more than 30 times for the parade.
And ways that help our city learn and grow. From the fire department.
Wir haben gerade mit Shawnee den Feuerwehraustausch, der einzigartig ist innerhalb unserer Städtepartnerschaften.
To Shawneetown 1929.
You can take a really deep dive into those ethnic stories of the Belgians and the Germans and the Irish.
However, the partnerships don't just stop there. Other residents and companies have made honoring the sister city relationships a part of their day-to-day business.
My family is 100% Irish on both sides, so we're very involved in our Irish heritage, and we're really excited about it.
Along with embracing her own Irish heritage, Driscoll's Irish School of Dance embraced the relationship with Listowel, Ireland.
Having that connection has fostered the excitement, I guess, that Shawnee has for Irish dancing and all things Irish. We get invited to participate in things and be part of that, extending that connection.
Meanwhile, Shawnee's connection to Pittem, Belgium is shaping how kids get in shape and the future of parkland in the city.
The Parks and Recreation Department and the Chamber of Commerce in the city of Shawnee are genuinely friendly people who are interested in doing projects that really complement their citizens.
So what's the deal with cyclocross? Well, that started in Belgium, and that's a huge thing for Belgium. That was a huge thing for the World War I. When you had to get a message to the front line, You gave it to the soldier, rode a bike as fast as he could.
And the fact of the matter is that getting children and their parents outdoors active and moving and breathing and stretching out is one of the healthiest things we can do for them in this community.
The connection is visible every single day at 3 Shawnee parks: Listowel, West Flanders, and the most recent, Erfurt, built with inspiration straight from Germany.
I was honored to go over to Erfurt through the Sister City program, and went over there, got some ideas, and had some of the features of the playground, the really tall tower. We kind of brought those in, and then obviously soccer, the fields, which we could do anything with.
And speaking of the world's game, it's found a foothold here in Shawnee with Woodland FC.
I decided that this would be an awesome place to set up a team right here at the complex, and since I got the idea for it on Woodland Drive, I decided to name the team Woodland FC.
Bringing in players from all over the globe to compete.
We have 11 different countries represented on our roster right now. We have guys from Germany, Italy, a couple guys from England, guys from Cameroon, Kenya, guys from Saudi Arabia, guys from, of course, from the U.S. We take anyone who has an intense love for the game and an intense love to see the game grow here in what my wife and I call the greatest city in the world.
And when it comes to celebrating, Shawnee's breweries celebrate the Sister City connections with every glass.
Each year we brew a Sister Cities beer, and then we have different beers that come out throughout the year. One of them is our Pit'em Belgium Double. Then we have the Listowel Irish Stout, and we'll be making a Erfurt beer sometime this year to honor our friends out in Germany.
Because what it all comes down to is connecting our hometown with people who are more similar than you might ever think possible.
The people are so wonderful, and there's a lot of exchange of ideas. And we need them, they need, I mean, look, just in the world today, I mean, there's a lot of things that we need to work together on.
I think it just broadens the relationship of like international ties together. We're not just a local community, but internationally, we're all kind of in this together.
Now, as we prepare for a new influx of visitors from Europe, Africa, South America, and the Caribbean, not to mention from other corners of the United States, it's important. We all want Shawnee. It's important. We all know what Shawnee has to offer. So we can share that story with our guests. It is my pleasure to welcome to the stage Nathan Ryerson, co-founder of the Friction Beer Company, and with Americana and Ales, Stacy Strathman, general manager of Nick and Jake's Shawnee location, Andrea O'Hare, executive director of the Hotel and Lodging Association of Greater Kansas City. And to lead this roundtable discussion from the Shawnee Chamber of Commerce, our president and CEO, Ann Smith-Tate.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming and being a part of this panel today, this really exciting time in our community. And great intro, Mickey. I mean, absolutely, we have so much to offer the world, so I think we're all excited about what that might mean here in just, what did you say, 105 days? So, all right, everybody, buckle up. Kind of want to jump into it. We are planning a local celebration to welcome our friends from around the world. So, Nathan, can you kick us off today and just kind of tell us, why throw this Americana and Ales Festival in the middle of the World Cup?
Yeah, well, I think to kind of on top of what Mickey was saying, we're going to have all these visitors that are coming to our region. And, what a better time to put on an event to really show people from around the world what our community has to offer and what our city has to offer. And that's really where the thought for Americana Nails that I'm a part of came from. And, you know, from a music standpoint, you know, Americana being a very American, you know, kind of melting pot of different musical styles that really speaks to the region and what is popular. It's shown in like the Walnut Valley Festival in Winfield. So being able to bring that, and then I always wanted to do a beer festival, so it was a great opportunity to be able to do that as well.
Wonderful. So we're thinking about everybody coming in from around the world. Are we ready? Stacy, are the restaurants ready? Are we ready for this influx of customers?
Yeah, I believe so. The Greater Kansas City Restaurant Association has been key and great with communication right now, education on kind of what to expect and what everybody's preparing for. So on a large scale, we're looking at, you know, our vendors and purveyors upping warehouse parks, right? So we can have enough food and drink. On our level, we're already staffing, increasing cash in the restaurant, having handhelds for the servers to bring to the table. We're finding that a lot of European and overseas guests, they don't want to see their credit card leave the table, right, to go process that. So we're investing in what are called handhelds. We use them now at to-goes when we run food out to a car. So we'll get more of those so servers can be at the table, their card doesn't have to leave. You know, getting some signage up about tipping, right, because not everybody does that around the world. So, you know, we're definitely thinking of all those things and hopefully ahead of the game right now for it.
I know, Mickey, you and I were talking the other day about what this might look like, and I mean, there's some real potential for a big game here in Kansas City, I guess, if Argentina goes all the way, and as well as Portugal. So, you have some thoughts on that?
Well, what I was told was Argentina supposedly has the top player in the world. But if you talk to Portugal, they have the top player in the world. And this will be the last time, if they happen to win, if Argentina and Portugal end up playing each other, they will be playing in Kansas City. This will be the biggest game in the history of the World Cup, which means that the influx of people to come to Kansas City would be probably over the 2 million mark during for that particular game. So I am rooting for the United States, of course. But if they don't make it, Argentina and Portugal would be great in Kansas City.
That would be very exciting. So we hopefully have places for them to eat and ways to entertain them, but about where are they going to stay? Are the hotels ready, Andrea? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah.
How are they preparing for this?
Yes, our hotels are ready. You know, the first thing we're kind of telling them to focus on is their staffing levels, making sure they are equipped to not only handle match days, but also those peak arrival and departure days. So what we're doing to help as an association is partnering with the Restaurant Association as well as the Greater Kansas City Area Attractions Association to have a hospitality industry-wide career fair. It will be at Hy-Vee Arena on April 22nd if anybody's interested, from 12:30 to 2:30. You can, if there's any hospitality employers in the audience, it's free. You can have a table. All you need to do is just sign up on our website, which is kansascitylodging.org. And certainly if there's any job seekers in the audience, we want you there. We'd love to meet you and introduce you to all these great hospitality employers. And I should mention that, you know, World Cup is topic of conversation, but these are long-term, you know, jobs and career paths. So while we're talking about World Cup for right now, those jobs will be for the long term. And then beyond that, you know, we're making sure our hotels are all trained up, right? We're focusing on making sure that they have all the information that they need for the World Cup. Certainly, you know, knowing it'll be important for our hotels to know when match days are, to be able to speak to Fan Fest, to be able to speak to the transportation logistics and all that goes into that, because they'll inevitably get tons of questions on that. And then, you know, think about, you know, downloading a translation app. We want all of our front desk agents to be able to, you know, have that in their back pocket. And it's an easy resource, it's free and easy to use. And also, unfortunately, with large events, there's a rise in human trafficking, and anti-human trafficking training is something that we offer as an association, free online, and then there's several organizations here locally that will come to your property free of charge and train your whole staff in that, so they know what to look for and those sorts of things. And then really beyond that, it's just making sure we realize what this opportunity means. It truly is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us to welcome individuals. These international travelers will, have likely never been to this region or to this country. And so our hospitality industry plays a huge role in that, in that experience for them. And so if we do it right, we build this legion of ambassadors for our region of the country that can go, tell everybody how great it is and results in additional visitors.
That's very insightful. And certainly, Shawnee, we are no stranger to welcoming our visitors, as we just saw that Sister Cities video was incredible. It just gives me such pride to see what we as this little Shawnee community can do to shine our light throughout the world. But I'd love to hear the rest of the panel's thoughts on how do we best take advantage of introducing our community to a larger population. I mean, truly everybody in this room is going to be that ambassador for the community. So Nathan, I'll start with you. You've got the mic down there. How do we do that?
Well, I think we're doing a lot of it already, and being forward-thinking in the events that we want to do, what we want to offer, and how we want our city to be perceived in this. So what Andrea said, I hope everybody realizes this is the biggest sport in the world and the biggest event within that, and we get to host that in Kansas City, which is amazing. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So just making sure that we do our best to be inclusive, be friendly, bring everybody together in a thoughtful way, and I think we're starting that with some of the things we're doing and will continue to do.
Yeah, I think we're really, looking at all of those social media outlets that can be used. It's important when, you have visitors coming in to these smaller communities. They're like, what am I gonna do? They're looking at their phone, right? They're on Instagram, WhatsApp, all those things. So being really visible there and, creating that content that can really grab someone's attention and also showcase what you have, right, through that, so.
What they said, and just really leaning into the authenticity. When we go places, when we travel, we want to experience it how the locals experience it, and that's what these visitors are going to want to do too. So I think it's smart to really champion the great offerings that Shawnee has.
Wonderful. So speaking a little bit to that local experience, Nathan, Friction Beer Company, no stranger to hosting football watch parties. Can you talk a little bit about how that might differ from a traditional sporting event or watching the Royals play? How is that football culture different?
Yeah, no, we're lucky to be in a very sports-forward city. We have the Chiefs, Royals, a lot of success. But if you've traveled to Europe and experienced football in those cities and the passion of those fans, it pales in comparison, and that's what's about to come to our city. They're the most passionate fan base of any sport that I've ever experienced, and it's one of the reasons that I've been drawn into it. I'm a huge Chelsea fan. I've been to Europe multiple times to see matches, and we open our business early on Saturdays and Sundays to show soccer matches, and it's because those fans are just so passionate about their teams and their culture. It's like part of their family. So to be able to bring those people now to come here and get to see it, I think that part of the reason we're home base for England and Argentina is people have seen that Kansas City has shown they have passion for soccer. There's been watch parties that have been on national broadcasts, and that's one of the reasons we're getting this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So it's going to be fun to see.
Absolutely. So will you be creating any new beers that speak to the international crowd, or what are you thinking of them?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, even part of Americana Ales, the festival that we're doing as a part of it, I'm encouraging all the breweries that are coming to brew some European-style beers and things that'll speak to their cultures and kind of bring them in, but then also show the things that we do well in the United States with our beer culture as well. But yeah, no, it's definitely a big part of what we're doing. Our brew schedule is already completely booked out, and there's a lot of unique beers we're going to do just for this event.
Very good. So I guess maybe sort of a similar question for you, Stacy. How are you balancing sort of the culinary experience of creating some things that might seem familiar to people that are traveling from internationally? And then sort of a two-parter question here. How are you balancing that with your regular customers as well?
Sure, yeah. Our executive chef, Jeremy, has already been really kind of researching and visited the Shawnee Argentinian restaurant to pick some items out that he might want to try out, but really kind of doing some research on the 4 countries that are going to be here and kind of what some of that would look like and how we could execute that. But I also remember a story of a friend who went to Germany to go to Oktoberfest and had a blast and loved it, and the beer and all of this and the pretzels, and then by day 3 she's like, I just wanted a Bud Light. I wanted a Bud Light and a cheeseburger. So, while I want them charring our, pot pie or grandma's chicken at Nick and Jake's, at some point they may just want something comfortable for them. So we are researching some different items and just making sure we can execute it to our level. And then as far as regulars go, that's our community, right? That's Shawnee. So that's our hometown with a heart that is sitting at my bar every day. So really wanting them to coexist with, some people that are visiting from other countries or just visiting from another state watching their favorite team play. So getting those 2 communities together, I think, would be magic.
I agree. So one last question here, I think we're wrapping up, but probably know the answer to this, but where do you plan on watching the World Cup? And we know who Mickey's sort of rooting for. I'm just kidding. Who are you rooting for in the World Cup? Do you have a team?
I'm going to say USA, and I'll be watching at Nick and Jake's, more likely working, but at Nick and Jake's.
We'll be open for every match, so I'll obviously be at Friction watching all the matches, but obviously hoping the US goes far and has a historic run in the World Cup, and I'm a huge fan of the England national team. A lot of my favorite players play for it, so I'm going to go with England.
And I gotta go with USA too, but with a strong backup of Argentina. Yeah, for obvious reasons. And I'll be bouncing around the hotels all around the metro, just making sure everybody's good and partaking in a beer at the lobby bar. So.
And Mayor, where you plan on watching that? At all of your favorite Shawnee restaurants, but you just can't pick one? Well, great. Well, I think that's about it for our time, but thank you all. Thank you all for doing all the hard work that you're doing now and what will be really, really hard work in 106 days to make our customers and our visitors feel so welcome. So we're excited. At the Chamber, we'll be posting all sorts of information how you can educate your business, hosting some informational meetings as well. So keep a lookout for that. But that's all the time I have.
Thank you again to all our guests and Ann for leading that conversation. When our international visitors arrive here this summer, they'll have far more than just soccer games to catch. Before the World Cup even begins, we can welcome visitors to Old Shawnee Days. And when the games are underway, Shawnee will host 2 moonlight markets. Our Independence Day celebration at Park, Americana and Ales in downtown Shawnee. And I want to thank members of the Boxcar Brethren for providing our networking hour entertainment. You'll be able to catch great national and local bands just like the Brethrens playing in downtown Shawnee on June 20th during Americana and Ales. And our friends at the Johnson County Parks and Recreation will play host for more than a dozen chances to watch those international matchups at Theater in the Park, less than a mile from the Midland Entertainment District. Visitors from across the greater Kansas City area and from around the world will come to experience the excitement of our hometown with heart. And that is our chance as a city, as residents, as businesses, to welcome those visitors and give them a reason to come back to Shawnee long after the World Cup is won. Speaking of winning, I always like to include a look at the achievements of the Shawnee students. This year, four students in our hometown were honored as National Merit semifinalists. From Mill Valley High School, Rachel Joseph, Nathan Turvey, and Ian Weatherman. From the Maranatha Christian Academy, Andrew Craneshaw. Congratulations to all our fine scholars. Additionally, the Shawnee Mission Northwest Cougars celebrated an immense honor as all three school media outlets placed in the top 10 Best of Show at the 2025 National Scholastics Press Association. KUGR, the TV and radio station, placed 10th. The Lair Yearbook placed 8th. And the school's newspaper and Northwest Passage placed 2nd. It's the highest finish in 10 years. And just last week, the Kansas Scholastic Press Association honored Sophia Bell, the Passage's co-editor, as the Kansas High School Journalist of the Year. We should also honor our students' accomplishments on the field of play. The 2025 Mill Valley Girls Track and Field Team brought home the Kansas 6A state title. That was pretty incredible. Additionally, a total of 115 students from both Shawnee Mission Northwest and Mill Valley signed national letters of intent last academic year to continue their playing careers while earning a college education. I also want to take a moment to highlight how the Shawnee City Council is getting the next generation of city leaders involved. It is always my pleasure to welcome students from our school, Shawnee schools, and service groups to lead the council and the audience in the Pledge of Allegiance. In 2025, we welcomed Cub Scout Troop 3248, Boy Scout Troop 194, Broken Arrow Elementary twice, Belmont Elementary twice, and Neiman Elementary led us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If I might speak for the members of the Shawnee City Council, I believe it is gratifying for us to welcome tomorrow's leaders to build a better understanding of their local government, to start their participation well before they could ever cast a vote at the ballot box or serve on the council. This early introduction is a key part of building for their future and Shawnee's future. We talked today about how Shawnee already has strong international ties, thanks to our forward thinking of those previous city leaders. Now, the current generation of our Shawnee leaders and future generations have an opportunity this summer to grow those connections and make new ones as we welcome an even larger international community to our city. Both our frequent visitors and the people most familiar with Shawnee expect there will be much to love when our friends from around the globe arrive in our hometown.
I think Shawnee is like a little break where maybe there's a lot of hustle and bustle, and if they come to Shawnee, that they're going to find a place where they can kind of relax a little bit, but still be entertained.
Also Sie werden auf jeden Fall sehr, sehr freundliche Menschen hier finden. Und sie werden sich genauso wohl fühlen, wie wir das hier tun. Hier lebt ein Menschenschlag, der sehr umarmend ist, der sehr herzlich ist, der alle sehr gut aufnimmt.
There's, the downtown areas that are going to be vibrant and busy, but I think Shawnee is another really great option that has the walkability, that has all of the things that downtown has, and it's just kind of a step away. So you won't have those massive crowds. Instead, you'll have more home style kind of fun where everybody wants to get to know you.
This is a city that is absolutely mad about soccer. They love it here. We have so many pubs dedicated to the sport, dedicated to watching it, so many restaurants that have watch-alongs and get-togethers for all the different leagues.
Shawnee is a great Kansas town. It's super friendly. It's got a ton of good restaurants and breweries. It's got everything a family would want to come into town and stay in hotels. And not only Shawnee, but the surrounding neighborhoods and cities are also great for visitors.
The whole atmosphere in Shawnee and in Kansas in general, they're just so good. Obviously because they're Irish, so, But it is that Irish feeling of friendliness, and people are so willing to talk, and people make time to talk, which is lovely.
Thank you to those who shared their stories. Thank you to everyone who is working towards making this summer unforgettable. And thank you to our city departments and staff. They make the governing body and me look good through their hard work and dedication to the entire city. Finally, I want to thank all of you for coming today, for being part of the Shawnee community, for celebrating our heritage, for honoring our history, and for being ready to welcome the world to Shawnee. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.
Please.